everyone, it's Julianne here, and welcome back to the Possum Stamps YouTube channel. I'm super excited to announce that the designers and I, as well as some guest designers along the way, are all going to be participating in a Christmas card making series, and it's going to start now and go all the way until Christmas in order to give you guys a bunch of inspiration all season long. Now for my card today, I've created this Hanging Ornaments Christmas card using one of the brand new stamp sets that was just released in the October release, and that's the Deck the Halls stamp as well as the coordinating die set. Now to start out my card today, I'm first going to be creating my background, and to do that, I'm going to be doing some ink blending using my Distress inks. Now the colors I'm going to be using include Candied Apple, Aged Mahogany, and Black Soot. Now I've gone ahead and trimmed down some Ranger watercolor cardstock to A2 size, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I will be trimming this panel slightly smaller, but that'll be later on in the video. I'm going to be doing my ink blending using some of my blender brushes, and I'm going to start out with my lightest color, which is that Candied Apple. I'm going to be ink blending that color over the entire panel, and once I have that covered, I'm then going to be coming in with Aged Mahogany, and I'm going to be adding that color around the edges, bringing it in towards the center, but still leaving that center highlight of that Candied Apple. Now finally, in order to darken those edges even more, I'm then going to be coming in with some Black Soot. Now to make sure that I get a really nice seamless blend between all three of those colors, I'm then just going to go back over that entire panel using my lightest color of that Candied Apple one more time. Now once I'm happy with how it looks, I'll then place that entire panel off to the side to completely dry. Now while my background is drying, I'm going to start working on stamping out my images. I'm going to be stamping out 4 of the ornaments that are included in the Deck the Hall stamp set, and I'm also going to be stamping those along with the greenery that's included in this set as well, using some VersaFine Onyx Black ink. Now since I do plan on doing some Copic coloring today, I am going to be heat setting my images since this ink isn't Copic friendly. So I did want to mention that I did add some anti-static powder to my cardstock before I did any stamping. And once I get a nice solid black outline for each of my images, I'm then going to add some clear embossing powder over my images, and then I'm going to heat set them using my heat tool. Now for the coloring of my images, as I mentioned earlier, I am going to be using my Copic markers. And for my card today, I'm going to be going with traditional Christmas colors of red and green as well as some gold. Now the possibilities on how you can color in these ornaments are definitely endless. You could do the traditional colors like I'm doing, or you could do a rainbow of colors on all of the ornaments, or maybe even some blue and silver, just really any color combination. And then of course you could definitely change the background to match. Now I'm going to go ahead and put on some music while I finish up coloring in these last few ornaments, and I will be right back. Now, once I was done with all of my coloring, off camera I did go ahead and use the coordinating dies in order to cut out each one of the images. Now, what's so amazing about these dies is that they do go ahead and cut out the centers of the top of each ornament, so that way you can easily hang them on your card using either twine or some string like I am. Now, if you don't want to use string, there are 2 hanger images included in the Deck the Hall stamp set as well, and you could use those instead. Now, off camera, I also wanted to mention that I did go ahead and trim my panel down to just slightly smaller. That way I could have a really nice white border from my card base all the way around my card. But I wanted to add some texture to my background as well, so I did run that panel through my die cutting machine using an embossing folder, and I also went a little splatter crazy with some gold paint over the entire panel as well. Now I am going to be adding some gold string through each one of my ornaments, and I'm going to be also adding some foam adhesive behind each of the images as well. Now once I have my string ready, I'm going to start adhering down each one of the ornaments down to my background panel. Now you could definitely adhere the string to the back of the panel first and then adhere your ornaments, but this way worked better for me. So as I'm adhering the ornaments down to my background, I'm not really too worried about the string. I'm just going to let it hang out there. And once I have the last ornament adhered down, that's when I'm then going ahead and I'm going to flip my background over, and I'm going to start adhering the string to the foam adhesive that I've already placed back there. Now you don't have to use foam adhesive. You could definitely adhere those strings using some washi tape or maybe even some liquid adhesive, but I wanted to give my card some added dimension, so I went with the foam adhesive. So once I have all of my strings in place, I'm then going to be adhering my background panel directly down to my card base. Now I should have adhered my greenery image at the top of my card first, and then that way I could have trimmed off the excess on the edges, but I didn't do that, so I'm going to adhere my background first, and then I'll be adhering my greenery at the top of the card, and I'm just going to struggle a little bit to just trim off that little bit of excess, so that way the greenery lines up with the edges of my background panel, but it all worked out in the end. But if you are wanting to recreate this card, I suggest adhering the greenery down first. Now, in order to finish off my card today, I am going to be scattering a few sequins from the brand new Holly Jolly sequin mix throughout my card. And I'm going to be adhering each one of those down using some liquid adhesive. And once those are all adhered, that's going to complete my hanging ornament Christmas card. I really love how this card came out, and I just love that bold and bright red background. And I hope that you do too. If you did like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, as well as subscribe to the Possum Stamps YouTube channel. All of the supplies I used today will be listed down below in the description box, and make sure to come back all season long for some additional inspiration this season. As always, happy crafting!